There comes a moment in every real estate agent's journey when the phone feels heavier than a phone should feel, not because of the device itself, but because of the meaning that has become attached to it. So many agents, perhaps even you, stand at the threshold of opportunity, hand hovering just above the dial button, and feel a quiet, invisible resistance. Not loud fear, not dramatic panic, just a subtle inner pull to wait, to hesitate, to do it later. And yet, some deeper part of you knows that the life and business you want are not built in hesitation. They are built in moments where you choose to act, even before comfort arrives. This hypnosis is for that threshold. This is not about hype or forced motivation. This is about gently dissolving the internal story that phones equal rejection and replacing it with a deeper truth, that each call is simply a doorway and you are the one holding the key. This experience will allow your nervous system to soften its grip on old protective patterns and install a quiet, powerful identity inside you. The identity of the agent who calls with calm certainty, who speaks with grounded authority, and who remembers that leadership is not loud, it is steady. And as you listen now, you may allow your body to find whatever position feels most natural. There is no right way, no wrong way, just your way. You do not need to perform relaxation. You do not need to try to succeed at being calm. You may simply notice your breath coming in and going out. Without any effort on your part, the body has always known how to breathe. And perhaps, as you notice the breath, something inside begins to settle. You don't have to make it settle, it simply begins. As the mind drifts from doing into observing, like watching a river flow without needing to control its direction. Somewhere in your awareness, you might begin to notice the feeling around your eyes. And perhaps your eyes, if they are still open, might choose, on their own, to soften, to close, or simply to grow heavy. There is nothing to see right now except the inner landscape that forms when you turn your attention inward. And even if your eyes stay open, they can soften like a lens adjusting focus. And the muscles around your forehead may begin to loosen, like someone gently smoothing away tension with the back of a hand. And just noticing that possibility is enough for release to begin. The jaw too may begin to relax, and even the tongue in your mouth may begin to rest more heavily. The face, which so often holds the expression of effort, begins to forget effort and remember ease. With each breath, something shifts. With each exhale, you might imagine placing a small weight down, a weight you no longer need to carry in this moment. And the inhale gathers calm, not forced calm, natural calm. The kind that surfaces when pressure has no place to cling. You may gently observe the shoulders now, those quiet bearers of responsibility, holding more than most people ever see. And perhaps in this moment, they lower themselves, even a fraction of an inch, as if they too are relieved to set the day down. You might even picture a coat sliding off the shoulders, a coat woven of urgency, of expectations, of shoulds, slipping down the arms and falling quietly behind you. No fight, just release. The arms, the elbows, the wrists, each joint and muscle easing into stillness. Fingers perhaps tingling or warming as circulation begins to shift. These small signals are simply the body's language for, yes, I remember how to rest, and the breath continues. Slow, steady, unforced, and as you continue to notice it, your state begins to change. There's no push, no demand, only allowing. And it's interesting, isn't it, how allowing often gets you there faster than trying ever could. Somewhere in this stillness, the spine becomes noticeable. That column of support that has carried you through posture after posture, call after call, day after day. And now, it too begins to release. Perhaps you imagine a warm current moving from the base of the skull, down between the shoulder blades, through the mid-back, the lower back, down into the hips. And wherever that warmth passes, tension loosens. You do not need to make it happen. You only need to witness it. And as your awareness drifts down through the hips and into the legs, it becomes easy to imagine warm relaxation flowing down the thighs, the knees, the calves, the ankles, the feet. And each part of the body, once noticed, seems to say, Ah, I can let go now. The body knows how to do this, and soon you may feel as though you are sinking gently into this moment, like easing into warm water, fully supported. No effort. In a moment, you may begin to notice a feeling of descending deeper into this gentle awareness, not into sleep, but into a place underneath thought, a place where change is effortless. And as I speak, you may feel that descent already beginning. And in this descent, there is a staircase. You do not need to see it clearly, just a sense of steps leading gently downward, each step taking you deeper into a state where the subconscious mind listens differently, more openly, more curiously. And perhaps as I begin to count, you can allow yourself to drift just a little deeper with each number. No effort, just following along. 10, beginning the gentle descent now. 9, drifting down. 8, the mind loosens its grip. 7, the breath finds its own slow rhythm. 6, halfway to that calm place beneath thought. 5, warm heaviness spreading through the body. 4, deeper now, deeper still. 3, safe, supported, inward. 2, almost at that peaceful layer beneath effort. 1, fully settled, where old patterns become soft and new possibilities take shape. And now, in this softened space, a story begins to form. Not a loud story, a quiet one, the kind that speaks in symbols. And the subconscious understands symbols more deeply than logic ever could. You may imagine an open field, the kind of field that exists on the edge of somewhere new, and in that field, a path, not a paved road, a path formed by footsteps, intentional footsteps, steps made by someone who keeps walking even when the destination is not yet visible. And on that path, you see an explorer, not dramatic, not seeking attention, calm, observant, purposeful. This explorer has walked a long way, across experience, across learning, across all the days that trained skill, built knowledge, gathered wisdom. And now they stand before something, a simple door, ordinary perhaps, plain, closed, but not locked. And the explorer pauses, not out of fear, out of respect for the moment before new possibility opens. Every real estate agent knows this moment, though most don't call it by name. It is the moment just before dialing, that quiet second where the hand hovers above the phone, the breath catches, and a thought, almost too quick to hear, flickers across the mind. Wait, maybe not yet, maybe later. That moment is this moment. And the explorer feels a soft wind. That wind is hesitation, not an enemy, just a guardian at the threshold. A test, perhaps. Asking, gently, not harshly, "Are you the one who steps forward?" The explorer places a hand on the door. Not pushing yet, just acknowledging it. And it's interesting how the mind begins to recognize that every unopened door is simply a call not yet made. And inside each door, there could be someone waiting, someone hoping, though they may not say it out loud, that someone experienced, someone calm, someone confident would reach out. And here is a truth the subconscious begins to understand now. People are not annoyed by leadership. They are relieved by it. They are not irritated by clarity. They relax in its presence. There are homeowners right now, sitting at their kitchen tables, trying to decide what to do, wishing someone would just call and make the path clear. They don't know your name yet, but they are already tired of uncertainty. And so many agents never call them. They stop at the threshold. They turn away, out of hesitation that was never rightful fear, but simply untuned identity. The explorer understands something now. The call is not an interruption. It is an invitation. A moment of leadership, a moment of service, a moment where one human being extends clarity to another, and clarity is never unwelcome. And as that realization settles like a stone in still water, the surface of the mind changes. The old association, phone equals tension, begins to soften, dissolve, and a new association begins to form, slowly, quietly, naturally. Phone equals doorway, calling equals leading. You may begin to feel that recognition stirring in your own subconscious, not as a loud declaration, but as a warm recognition. Ah, I see now. This is not a burden. This is a role. There was a time when hesitation made sense, when the nervous system believed that rejection meant danger. Long ago, rejection could mean exclusion from safety. And so the protective part of you learned to pause, to avoid that moment. Not because you were weak, because you were safekeeping. And perhaps, even now, you can feel gratitude for that protector. That part of you that slowed you down, kept you cautious, made sure you were ready. And in this moment, in this state, you may silently acknowledge that part. A simple inner whisper. Thank you for trying to protect me. You are seen, and now I lead. And when gratitude is given, the protector rests, because protection always steps aside when leadership becomes present. And in this awareness, notice what begins to shift. The old internal voice that asked, "What if they say no?" begins to be replaced by a different voice, a voice with a warmer tone. One that asks, just as naturally, "What if they have been waiting for someone exactly like me to call?" And something in the chest opens, the breath expands, and a new identity begins to step forward, quietly, certain. And in that gentle space between hesitation and action, the subconscious begins to reorganize what it believes about calling. Because calling has never been the issue. Identity was. A person who sees themselves as an intruder hesitates. A person who sees themselves as a guide reaches out with ease. Imagine now, in the quiet before action, a version of you standing just a step behind. The old version. The one who felt a tightness in the throat before dialing. The one whose stomach tightened, whose breath shortened ever so slightly at the thought of hearing a hesitant voice on the other end. That version did the best they could with the meaning they had. But meaning can change. And when meaning changes, behavior follows effortlessly. And just ahead of you, there is another version, a future you. Not a fantasy, a deeply real version that already exists in potential. Notice how this version stands. There is something about the posture, relaxed shoulders, grounded breath, the face calm, unhurried. There is no rush, because true leadership never rushes. It arrives, and you may begin to step closer to that version now, not with force, with curiosity, not trying to become them, simply observing what it feels like to be next to them. And in that presence, something inside your chest begins to resonate, like two tuning forks finding the same frequency. And you might imagine now that there is a chair, a simple chair, and your future self, this quietly confident caller, is seated. Posture open, hands resting naturally, breathing slow, and there is a moment when you sense that this chair is also meant for you. Not later, not someday when I feel ready. Now, because nothing is missing. All that needed dissolving is already softening. And so you step forward, place a hand gently on the back of the chair, and with the next inhale, you allow yourself to sit. And as you take that seat, something settles inside, a click, an alignment, a returning, as if this identity was never outside of you, but simply waiting for you to sit in the position that was yours all along. And from this seat, notice what changes. The phone does not feel heavy. It feels like a tool, and tools are neutral until meaning is given to them. And now your subconscious gives it new meaning. Phone equals key. Call equals leadership. And keys are meant to open doors, and doors are meant to be opened, and leadership means going first. So feel, just for a moment, the sensation of holding the phone, not tightly, softly, like holding a key before unlocking a door. And as you imagine dialing, there is no pressure, only direction, only the calm intention of one who knows their role is not to push, but to guide. And imagine hearing the first ring, that tone some used to associate with anxiety. Now it becomes something else. It becomes the knocking at the door of opportunity. That sound becomes the rhythm of possibility. Each ring, a heartbeat of service, a steady pulse of leadership. And when someone answers, you do not chase. You do not beg for attention. You arrive. You orient them. You speak like someone who knows something valuable, because you do. Not everyone can see opportunity where others see uncertainty. But you, as a real estate professional, do. And that is why you call, not to ask for permission to exist, but to extend permission for clarity to enter their world. And from this place, the idea of rejection loses meaning. Because rejection is not rejection. It is simply timing revealing itself. A not now is not a not ever. It is just a door with a different opening schedule. And that is fine, because you do not take it personally. Leaders do not personalize timing. They simply continue walking the path, key in hand, knowing more doors await. And you may feel something now, a subtle warmth spreading through the chest, a grounded sensation that says, this is who I am now. Not in an inflated, aggressive way, in a deeply calm, responsible way. Responsibility without fear, leadership without pressure. And as these sensations embed themselves deeper into your subconscious layers, your future actions begin to align. You will not need to remind yourself. The body will remember. The hand will reach for the phone sooner than it used to. The breath will stay calm. The voice will come out steady. And the person on the other end will sense it instantly. Because people can feel leadership, even through a phone line. In a moment, we will rise from this inward journey. But before we do, let the subconscious lock this in, like a foundation setting beneath a house, strong, unshakable, quiet. And now, as the final layers of this new identity settle into place, there is nothing left to force. Because what is yours has already landed, the mind has listened, the nervous system has exhaled, and identity has shifted, not through pressure, but through recognition. You are no longer the agent who dials hoping not to be rejected. You are the guide who calls because clarity must be delivered and leadership must go first. And so, in a moment, you will begin to rise, not up into stress, but up into readiness, up into a calm alertness, up into the state of someone who knows that action does not need to be perfect. It only needs to be done by someone aligned with their role, and that someone is you. In this new state, calling is no longer a test. It is simply what a leader does. A leader sees uncertainty and enters. A leader sees doors and reaches for the handle. A leader holds the key and walks forward, while others hesitate. And from this moment on, there will be a subtle urge appearing inside you, especially in the space right before a call. A gentle pull forward, a feeling like, let me just make one. And that one call will feel easier than it ever has. And after that, another. And each one, easier still. And if there is ever a flicker of hesitation, it will pass like a breeze. Because leaders do not wait for hesitation to disappear. They simply walk through it. And that is now your nature. In a moment, I will count from 1 to 5. And as I do, you will carry this identity up with you, into the body, into the breath, into the muscles of the hand that will soon pick up the phone with purpose instead of pressure. And so we rise. 1. The body begins to wake, slowly, gently, like morning light touching the surface of still water. 2. The breath gathers energy, expanding more fully, calmly, a sense of being ready. 3. Awareness returns to the room, but the calm confidence remains anchored deep inside, untouched by noise or distraction. 4. Fingers, toes, shoulders, slight movement returns, bringing with it a grounded readiness, a quiet strength. 5. Eyes open when you are ready, fully alert, calm, focused, identity set. The leader who calls has arrived. Take one more breath. Feel your presence here. Notice how steady you feel. And now, gently imagine reaching for your phone. Feel how different that image is compared to before. Notice how light your hand feels, how calm your chest remains, how curiosity replaces pressure. Because from this moment forward, when your hand reaches toward the phone, your subconscious will automatically activate this leadership state. Your breath will deepen, your tone will steady, and the thought will rise. I do not chase, I invite. I do not intrude, I lead. I do not wait, I call. And that is final. If you found value in this video, please like and subscribe for new videos coming out. Leave a comment on how this has helped you.